Hey guys, Wes here. Back to answer a couple threads actually. Haven't really been responding to threads or anything recently. Just been, I don't know, I just have trouble finding the time to do it. But been really enjoying watching them, and I feel guilty not responding to them, so I want to get back into it and try to respond to a couple of these at least. There's been, I think the two most recent ones are MerokoDK's and Mr. Hall of Fame, so I'm going to respond to both of those in two separate videos. So this first video will be a MerokoDK's thread that I'm going to respond to, so I'm going to go ahead and get into it to avoid making this too long. Question number 1, record that gives you goosebumps, or song that gives you goosebumps. Pulled a couple here. I don't know, Stairway to Heaven, just those, you hear those first couple of notes and you know what it is, and you know you're about to go on this 8-minute ride that's, I don't know, just one of those songs that never get tired of listening to, and it's just a really emotional song, I think. It's fun though, it's a fun ride, and kind of gives me goosebumps, I would say. The next song I picked is Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald by Gordon Lightfoot. This is arguably his most popular song. It's a very nautical type song, and it's a very sad song, and you can't help but feel like you're right there on the ship going down with the rest of the people as he sings the song, and it's just it gives me the chills as it the way he tells the story. It just feels real, and I really like that song. So even though it's his most commercially popular song, it's also probably my favorite of his, so I picked that one. And then for the third choice, I picked Pieces of You by Jewel. I've talked about this song before. Just because it gives me chills, just because it's such an in-your-face kind of song where it's like, it deals with hate, basically, different, hate for religion, hate for sexuality, hate for skin color, any kind of unrational hate. That's what the song is talking about. It's like, do you hate this because it's pieces of you? And it's just such a chilling and biting song. It's like, if you've ever had, we've all had wrong thoughts before in our lives, and points a mirror at you. So I chose Pieces of You. And question number 2, latest vinyl obsession. Well, my main obsession is still organization. I just have way behind on keeping up with organizing, because I'm trying to go through one by one and cleaning albums, digitizing albums, giving them new sleeves and new inner and outer sleeves, and cleaning everything, digitizing, cataloging, and then filing away in alphabetical order on shelves. So that's just sort of an ongoing obsession. Other than that, another obsession is just gear for me. I'm into trying different styluses and different head shells, and that's part of the fun of vinyl for me is the gear, the geeking out of the gear. And I don't have a lot of money to buy a lot of stuff, but I do like researching things. I do like just a little playing with the alignment of the cartridge, and playing with the overhang and all that stuff, and trying to dial that in perfectly, and getting the turntable level, and all the little stuff that goes into making, getting the best sound possible. You know, changing out different cables and just all the stuff that goes into the gear really excites me. It kind of goes back to my main hobby, which is modifying cars. Is just, you know, the small tweaks here and there, what changes things and what works and what doesn't, and it's just part of my obsession with things. I always like tweaking with things and trying to play with them and tinker with them and have fun. So that's kind of an obsession for me. Okay, next up we have best thrift store finds. Never really found any amazingly, you know, super expensive Elvis record or something at a thrift store, so I just picked a few that I had found that I was really excited to find. This actually came from the library book sale, but it's a charity sale, and the prices are thrift store prices. I mean, this was 75 cents. So this is Rolling Stones Through the Past, Greatest Hits Volume 2, I think it's called, or Big Hits Volume 2. I just thought it was a cool shape. It has Paint It Black, which is probably my favorite Rolling Stones song of all, and I really like the cover. So that was a pretty cool find. You know, I buy most everything I have. I bought at thrift stores, so it's hard for me to pick out just a couple that are like best thrift store finds. They're all great to me. This next one is Josh White at Town Hall. Just something I discovered. Never heard of him before. Just found it at a thrift store one day and gave it a try, and I love this album. It's just great folk blues music, and been looking for some more of his stuff and just not finding it anywhere, you know, searching around. So I think I'm gonna have to maybe go online and buy some that way, because I'm not really finding this easily. But if you ever see a Josh White album, I definitely highly recommend it. Good stuff. And this last one, which I bought way back in the early 90s, was this Bruce Springsteen and E Street Band Live box set. I probably paid 50 cents for this. This was at the store where I was buying records for 5 or 10 cents, you know, back in the early 90s, when they just were getting so many in because people were switching to CDs. So this is just great live recordings. Bruce Springsteen, 5 albums in here, and it's a great set, and it was a great find for 50 cents. You know, these don't, they made a lot of these, so they're not really highly valued. So it is something you would find at a thrift store occasionally, but it was a good find nonetheless, and I'm glad I picked it up, and I've really enjoyed it I've had it almost 20 years now, and I've enjoyed it all the time. And I put this on. I put it on, you know, I don't put it on regularly, but I do put it on from time to time, and I really enjoy listening to that. Okay, question number 4, records that I'm proud of. I'm like I said again, I'm really proud of all my records. I have a very wide range of stuff I have in my collection. I don't really focus on any one type of music or one decade or anything like that. I really have a very good variety, I think. So no matter what mood I'm into, I have something to listen to, which I really like. But this is something I'm proud of. I have this Black Sabbath Paranoid. This is an Italian pressing. Just well, you know, great Black Sabbath album, and really proud to have this. Just a nice foreign pressing, and pretty cool. Another one I'm proud of is the Belafonte at Carnegie Hall. I got this originally from my grandparents years ago, back when I first started buying records in the 80s. And they gave me their records, and this was one of them. And this sort of got me started on the the late 50s, early 60s folk revolution, and just sort of got me into the Kingston Trio and the Brothers Four, and of course Harry Belafonte, which I have a large collection of stuff. And this sort of got me started into that. And this is an album that I regularly could revisit, and it's just a great concert. and I'm just really proud to have this. I'm proud of what it started as far as my musical journey, as exploring early, late 50s, early 60s folk music. So I'm proud of that. And the last one here that I pulled out that I'm proud of is this, the Stephen Foster Curlin. This is a recording of a Curlin that's about a little over an hour north of me here, where I go every year. It's at the Stephen Foster State Park. It's a very large state park on the Swanee River, and in White Springs, Florida. And every year this is where the Florida Folk Festival is held. So go there every year. It's coming up in a few weeks now, and just spend the day wandering around. They have stages set up all throughout the park, just folk music all day long, and it's just a great event. Something I've been going to since I was a little kid. And I've always enjoyed it, and the older I get, the more I enjoy it, the more of appreciation I have for the music, and just seeing this Curlin, it just makes me happy just to see it. And I was blown away when I found this, as I didn't even know this record existed. So, it's not valuable, but it means a lot to me, and I guess that's all I want to say about that. I could go on for days about that, but anyway. Question number 5, advice for people getting started in vinyl. I think most of what I wanted to say has been said. I mean, don't get tied down into any one thing. Explore lots of different things. Don't buy something just because somebody says this is a must-have. If you're unsure, this wonderful world of online, and technology and everything, you can go sample stuff before you buy it. And but don't, also, with that being said, don't be too closed-minded. I've heard people say, well, I don't listen to this type of music, or I don't listen to that type of music, and you never know. I mean, I'm guilty of that myself. I've said I don't like to listen to opera music, but I'm sure there's probably some opera music out there I would like, but I just haven't heard it yet. So, just keep an open mind about things. Listen to as much as you can, no matter if you have to buy CDs, if you have to download it. Just listen to as much music as possible. Don't get tied down into any one thing, and just have fun. And another thing that Derek and Jeff were saying is don't sell your collection. Even if you have something that you were listening to for a while and you've sort of fallen out of love with it, just keep it. Later on you might regret getting rid of it. A lot of times there's stuff that I've put to the side for a while and come back to and revisited later, and enjoyed revisiting things again, and glad I kept things. I hardly ever sold anything. I've sold some CDs in my earlier years. Right after I moved out of the house, I sold some CDs at times when I just didn't have any money to eat. Literally, I had to sell CDs to eat or pay a bill. That was the only time I ever sold anything. I never sold anything I didn't want. And every time I did have to sell something, it hurt really bad. Just to sell things. But when you have rent due, or you don't have any food to eat, that's the only time you'll ever want to sell anything. That's my suggestion. And last thing, recommend a record to the community. I know I talk about this one all the time, and I'm just going to keep talking about it. This is Moody Blues, Days of Future Past. I know Dark Side of the Moon was a big thread recently, and this has a lot of the same themes as Dark Side of the Moon, and it was before Dark Side of the Moon. and I think this is an amazing album, and it's very easy to find. I have 2 copies, and they were both, I only paid $1 for each of them. But this is just an amazing album. It's an album. It's basically one long song, really, is what it is. But there's not enough I can say about this other than just, like I said, it's easy to find. It's worth your $1 to just try it out if you haven't heard it before. I'm sure most of you do have it already or have heard it, but if you haven't, get it. So that's all for this thread. Appreciate the questions, and I appreciate you taking the time to watch. Leave me some comments down below if you'd like, and we'll see you next time. Bye.